Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Valiantys' Introduction to Atlassian Strategy Collection webinar. My name is Jason Kidner. I'm going to be your tour guide for the strategy collection over the next hour. I'm an engagement director here at Valiantys, and I'm also an Atlassian certified professional. I've been working with the strategy collection for many years now, working with a number of clients, and yeah, I'm always loving to do this every couple months to see what is new and what to show you. So I'm joined by my colleague Kristen. She's going to be monitoring the chat. She'll be posting a few links in there as well, related to some things for Valiantys, and she's also going to be looking at the Q&A part of this Zoom call. So if you do have any questions, you can put them into that question and answer area of the meeting. So let's talk about our agenda. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to look at an overview of the strategy collection, then jump into demos of Focus and Talent, then a Jira Align demo, and then we'll have a few minutes at the end for questions as well. So let's get started here with the enterprise strategy and planning. So enterprise strategy and planning can be summarized as how an organization sets and operationalizes its strategy through the strategy lifecycle. So when done effectively, ESP, as I'll call it, can help leaders improve their strategy to outcome management. Okay, so basically, this is kind of summarizing where we're headed with the tooling. So the truth is, every organization already does some form of this. Leaders in every industry are asking themselves and their teams questions like, do we have the right strategies? Do we have the right people working on the right things? Do our goals clearly align to our strategic priorities? And are we adequately funding our priorities? Okay. So commonly, the answers to these questions live in a wide variety of tools in all sorts of different places that require a lot of manual effort to try to visualize the answers to those in a meaningful way with real-time data. Okay. So enter Atlassian's products or apps as they're now called for ESP. That is known as the strategy collection. Ta-da. So Atlassian launched this strategy collection of apps at Team 25 just about a year ago, last April. The strategy collection, again, it's a collection of Atlassian apps for executives to optimize strategy planning, prioritization, execution, teamwork planning, all sorts of different things. It connects strategy priorities with work, with goals, with people and funds, and is really leveraging apps to bridge the gap ultimately between strategy and execution. Okay. So currently, the apps that are in the strategy collection are Focus. Okay, Focus is here for your real-time strategy visibility. Okay, we'll look at this further. Then we have the newest app in the collection. It's called Talent. This is to help with intelligent workforce planning. Again, making sure the right people are working on your most important strategies. Then we have the original app, if you will, of the collection. It's called Jira Align. And also wanted to note with Jira Align, there's Enterprise Insights. That is the name for the Jira Align data lake, which most clients, I think pretty much every client I've worked with Jira Align is using Enterprise Insights somehow, some way to do custom reporting. But Jira Align is really to help with the planning and the execution of the work that you're executing on to meet those outcomes, to help achieve those strategies from your portfolios down to your programs, down to your teams as well. Okay, so we're going to do a demo of that later in the webinar. And the release of this collection, was intended to equip Atlassian customers with the tool set geared towards, really helping with their whole enterprise strategy and planning. Okay. And looking forward, by the way, yeah, this was launched last year. Atlassian team, the next Atlassian team is coming up in early May, I think the first full week in May. So be really interesting to see what news, what announcements, updates they're making to each of these apps. So let's now get into, make this a little smaller here. Let's talk about the strategy lifecycle, okay? So this is really important as, really to think through exactly which part of the life cycle of a strategy really plays in with these different apps. Okay. So the strategy life cycle is really meant to, you can think of it as a time dimension of ESP. Okay. Generally, strategies move through four phases: strategy, then planning, then execution, and then evaluation. Okay. And the flow is likely not linear. It could take many different forms for each strategy or focus area that comes along. But as we carry out these activities necessary in each phase, we'll be looking at Atlassian's portfolio of tools here, okay, and how they match up to help manage and communicate the status and progress of each of these phases of the life cycle. Okay, so this is pretty high level, but we're going to kind of drill into some of the processes, and you can kind of see how these tools can help out with each of these stages. So let's map these. So with strategy, with the strategy part of the life cycle, we're going to be using tools like Focus. Okay, Focus has what are called focus areas. I'm going to show those shortly. Those focus areas can begin to highlight the goals you're trying to achieve, the work that's accomplishing those focus areas. It's starting to tie in budget and people to those focus areas as well. Okay, as you're starting to think about your strategies, plan, like starting to think initially about them. And then you have talent that's there to ensure the right people are working on the right focus areas. Okay. So this then kind of goes quickly then into planning. Planning is when you have a little bit of planning happening up in focus and talent, but then you start to really get into the work. Like you've decided you're going to move forward with a given strategy or focus area. Now you're starting to plan out what are the work items, the epics, the capabilities, the features to go and achieve those strategies. And that's where Jira Align comes in. And show that's where you have your whole execution with your portfolio teams and your program teams, all the way down to your agile teams. Okay. And you're planning the workout from the top down. We also have in this graphic one of the apps called Jira Product Discovery. We mention it here because while it's not in the strategy collection, it is a really, really popular app that goes along with some of the other apps here. And it's really helpful for intake of those work items, like your epics, maybe even your feature level, to help your teams decide on impact versus value, kind of helping to think through, do we actually want to fund a given epic, that sort of thing. So that's why I mentioned JPD here. Okay. Then we get to the execution stage. So during execution, we'll primarily be using Jira along with Jira Align. Potentially, yeah, those are the main tools because Jira is ultimately where the features from Jira Align come in, and the stories. Jira is where the stories are created that your teams are working on that have your story points, and those ultimately roll up to your features, eventually to your epics in Jira Align. And so you can start to see the execution all the way from the team rolling up to the other layers of scale. Okay. And those are happening in Jira and Jira Align. Then the final stage of evaluation is really, yeah, you're looking at metrics, you're looking at data, all the data points, okay? And there's data lakes for Jira, there's data lakes for Jira Align. Those can be accessed really in your BI tool of choice. But wanted to highlight that Atlassian does have something called Atlassian Analytics. This is the Atlassian BI tool or app that comes with, if you have an enterprise level license for Jira or Confluence, you get an Atlassian Analytics with that. Uh, but again, you don't have to use that, but it is available and it can access both of the data lakes, okay, and do custom reporting. For evaluation, you also have Focus. Again, as you're rolling up all of this data, you can start to see how long things took how long some of these focus areas and strategies took. What was the funding like? You can start to evaluate, did we get the value we thought with the investments that we made? Okay. So that's the strategy lifecycle, how the strategy collection apps fit into that. And then there's other apps down here, other Atlassian products that also could potentially play in and be leveraged for documentation, for video and recording, for AI opportunities with Atlassian Intelligence and Atlassian Rovo. Okay, so let's switch gears and look at how the strategy plays out with the who, the people, the work, and the time, the where and the when, I guess we could say. So at for focus, or let's kind of walk through here from the top down. So the top level would be your executive teams, okay? They're working out the strategies, deciding what are we as a company gonna focus on in the next year, 2, 3 years. Okay, this is where the time is probably more, maybe quarters, but typically more years. Okay, they would be working in focus. That's where your strategy is. That's where your focus areas are. This can start to get down into the portfolio teams, okay, where they're working on themes and epics potentially. The work they're planning and thinking about would be quarters, maybe years as well. And that's where you can kind of start to tie the strategies to work items, themes or epics, okay, which is happening with focus, but again, starts to blend into Jira Align, okay? Maybe you're a really big organization that has solution teams that are working on capabilities. Again, they would be down in Jira Align, okay? Then there's program teams that are, again, working on features, maybe capabilities as well. They're focusing on those features, planning out in planning increments that are typically a quarter long, okay? These teams are all going to be primarily in Jira Align. The program teams, though, start to blend over into Jira, and Jira is where your delivery teams are. That's where your stories and subtasks are going to be created, be delivered, and they're being worked on in weeks or in sprints. And again, all the work that's being done over in Jira is going to roll up and aggregate up to the features, to the epics. You're going to see progress being made all the way up to themes, and then you can start to connect the dots with how are we doing with these? How are they connecting in with the focus areas? Okay, so that's the who, what, where, and when. And now we are ready to switch gears to demos. So first off, I'm going to demo focus. Okay, so let me switch over to focus. So Focus is in the Atlassian Cloud. It's on the Atlassian Cloud platform. And you get to that, if you're not familiar with Atlassian Cloud platform, this is what you're seeing here. And up in the upper left, you can click on this app switching icon, and you see all the different cloud apps that come that you would have licensed as a company. See, this is where you would see Jira, Confluence, and you also see Focus and Talent. And there's a lot more apps here as well. So you could click into Focus, and that would take you to this landing screen for Focus. And I'm going to walk through the UI, and then we'll drill into focus areas. Okay. So you first come into a For You area that talks about the focus areas that you are following or that you're the owner of, and how are they doing? Are they on track? Are there any risks? Are they off track? Are any completed? You start to see an activity stream here as well of the different focus areas that you care about. Okay, so that's out here in your landing page. There's a recent option. This is pretty typical of the Atlassian Cloud apps. What have you recently been to? There's a starred option here. Again, you can star different focus areas, and you can get to them very quickly through this option. Then you have the focus areas, which we're going to talk about more. Notice here, there's also a couple things showing up on the sidebar that are in beta. These are some new features within Focus that are being tried out, being tested, and they're very early stage here. There's something called strategic events, and then a very new one called asks. I'll just touch into those very quickly. They are really new. I'm not really going to focus on these. Again, they're just in beta, but it shows that Atlassian, the investments Atlassian's making here. Then there's some quick links to goals and talent and projects. Just wanted to highlight that goals and projects are not part of the Atlassian Strategy Collection. They come with your Atlassian Cloud products like Jira and Confluence, and you can use them or not use them. I'm going to show you how they interconnect though with Focus. Okay, and you can customize that. There's a search bar at the top that allows you to leverage Rovo, which is Atlassian's AI agent here out in the cloud to search for things. There's a create button here in Focus that allows you to create focus areas. Look, and it also allows you to create strategic events as well, and some shortcuts to asks and goals. You have an icon, a notification icon. This is typical of all the Atlassian Cloud products to see what updates have been made across the whole cloud. There's a help option here. There's also then your admin settings for if you're an admin of the tool, which I am. I just want to show you this to show you the updates you can make here to kind of start to get Focus set up for your company. You first come to the hierarchy. This is very customizable. You can create different levels. You can rename, you can give these specific names. This is the hierarchy that we have set up for focus areas that you'll see shortly. Okay, so you can see the hierarchy. You can adjust and add custom fields for focus areas. We don't have any added in here, but you can add those in. You can also add some custom fields into strategic events proposals. So that's that strategic events section that's in beta. Then you also can see integrations here to Focus that have been connected on the back end with Atlassian's help. So the different integrations with goals, talent, teams, which comes from the Atlassian Cloud, Jira, Jira Align, and Atlassian projects. So these are all the possible app connections available. Then there's the ability to download, to do some templating and some importing of data, some status mapping. This is a newer thing where you can map some statuses from Jira into some of the focus statuses. And then you can adjust, you have some permissioning opportunities as well. So that is the admin settings. So let's jump into the focus areas themselves. That's the real heart of Focus. So when you come into the focus areas, you are going to be landed into the All Focus Areas tab. But just to note, you can also look at focus areas you're following or that you're an owner of. Focus areas you're following. You can set up some custom views as well and see any archived focus areas here. But I'm going to really kind of stay in this all focus areas. Notice that it's set up initially by default with this list view, and you have the ability to search, text search. There's also searching via status, owner, type, by goals. You can see which focus areas are connected to certain goals that you care about, and also things that you're following or archived. So there's some filtering here at the top. And then down here, again, this defaults to the list views. You can see over here, there is the ability to toggle to a map view. This is a little different visualization that you may or may like or not like, but it shows you the high level company strategies, the top hierarchy, and then you can drill down into each level of hierarchy. You can even kind of drill into the sub focus areas and goals, kind of see how many sub focus areas and goals are connected to a given focus area at any of the layers. But it gives you this kind of somewhat of like mapping a family tree kind of view. Okay. If you come back here into the list view, this is more like that work breakdown structure kind of view. You can customize this with like turning on and off different fields and searching different columns here. And then over here, now we see our different layers of the hierarchy of focus areas. So you can see the type is listed here. You can see that like the parent to child relationship. These are some of the defaults or fields, status, the target dates, the owners, open positions. Are you following this or not? Unfollowing them? When were they last updated? And then different actions you can take. Unlinking, you can favorite them, star them, you can export, archive, delete them as well. So that's the view, a high level view. So let's drill into one of these now. I'm going to go to this demo focus area here. So at a high level, you see the breadcrumbs of where this particular focus area fits in your hierarchy. In the upper right, you can see the status of the focus area. This one is off track. You can also see that it could be at risk, on track, pending, paused, or completed. These are the out-of-the-box statuses. You can also set a target date. And the target date, again, you can see it can be fuzzy. It doesn't have to be an exact day. It could be a month. It could even be a quarter. That's what I have set for this one. You can follow it or unfollow a focus area. You can share them, and then you have some of those other action items available. And then you land into a focus area in the summary tab. Again, this is meant to be what it says, a summary of the goals related to the focus area, the work, how the work is progressing, the positions filled, and funding as well. You also see which things need attention. In this case, there's looks like a goal that is past its due date that needs some attention. You also see the latest updates on a focus area and who's made that, was there a status change, date change, any sort of update being made here. You can comment as well with this, so it's very much a collaborative tool. And then you can see other activity that's taken place. And then over in the right-hand frame, you can see who the owner of the focus area is. You can see who's following this. You can even add followers. And those followers, again, they'll be notified, they'll be updated about the focus areas that they're following. You can see what type it is. You can see if it has a parent or not as well. Okay. Or you can also see sub-focus areas too. So that shows up over here. So that is your summary and kind of your high-level view of a focus area. There is also an About tab that's meant to, like it says, a description and about what is this focus area about. It's just a rich text field that can be updated. There's an Updates tab. This is where you could come in and post an update, potentially give it a new status, give it a new when will it be done target date, and you can add in, again, some information around why the status change was made. What's the actual update taking place? And those people following it will be updated with this. There's a Goals tab. Again, you can use this or not use this. This, again, is that interconnection with the Goals app from the Atlassian Cloud. So this particular focus area, it looks like it's got no completed goals. One is remaining. There's one overdue, and there's no goals due soon. Again, this is based on this target date of the goal. So you can see all the different goals here. There's not many set up in our demo environment. One goal is pending, and you can see status history of any goals that are tied to it. Then I can scroll down and I can see my focus area right here. I can see any goals tied to it as children. I have this particular goal that is connected to this. And notice goals can have sub-goals as well. So you can kind of see even that hierarchy of goals out there as well. And you can add other goals here with this add button up at the top. I can link an existing goal. I can search for a goal out there, or I could even create a brand new goal that, again, shows that interconnection again with the Goals app, where you can add a name, the goal type. Notice you can do a goal. You can also do an objective, set it up like with an OKR framework. They're very similar, really, where you can set up success measures or, as key results, things like that. So there's different opportunities here to put a goal, a target date, an owner. Okay, this one already has a goal. I can click on this. You can kind of get a view into what goals look like. So I can click on this and get a really sort of smaller view of the goal, like what its status is, its target date, the progress being made. Again, this kind of gets into the key results on how things are going with how is this progressing. You can see how goals also have updates. You can tie goals as well to projects, Atlassian projects, or Jira Align or Jira work items. Okay, so there's a lot of kind of interconnecting this web of different work items that you can start to see unfolding here. So that's the interconnection here with goals on a given focus area. And you can obviously add a lot more goals. You can filter on them. You can customize columns, things like that. So that's the Goals tab. Then you have a Work tab. This tab allows you to, what it says, really align work with a focus area. And this kind of gives an overview of the work that is connected. And as I scroll down, similar to goals, I see underneath my focus area, I see different work items here. And what I see connected here is an epic that is coming over from Jira Align. As I hover over this, you can see more information about it. And then I also can see down here that there is it looks like an initiative based on that identifier, that key. And this is coming from Jira. So this highlights that you can connect work from different Atlassian apps. Okay, and you can see them all listed here with what type they are, the status that they have, their target date, who's owning them, where they're coming from, the source status. Okay, this is the source status here. This is really the status in Focus. Okay, and any goals that are connected to those work items. Okay, over here. So those are showing existing ones. You can also add other work items using this add button. And here you see the opportunity to add something from Jira or Jira Align or an Atlassian project. So for Jira, you can choose a specific Jira site, and then you can search for it with text. It looks like they've also added in a JQL opportunity to do some JQL query for particular work items and then choose those. In Jira Align, you have the ability to choose a theme, an epic, or a capability, those higher level work items in Jira Align. So you can choose one of those, and then you can type in some text, and it'll look over in Jira Align for a summary that matches that. And then you could choose to add a work item. Okay, so that shows work. Then you have a positions tab. This is now where we start to get it over into talent, some connecting points to talent. Okay, but this highlights how many positions have been allocated to this focus area. And again, you have this dashboard kind of metrics around what's been filled and the tenure of those positions, the people filling those positions. And again, scroll down, I can see the people that have been allocated and the positions that they have that have been allocated to this focus area. There is a new tab here called Reports. This is in beta. I'm not really going to highlight this. This is really, really new, but what to me this looks like you can add in some Confluence pages basically and create them, or maybe there's an existing page in Confluence that acts as a report that you want to connect in here. Okay, so that's reports. Just real quick, there are these new beta options in Focus. One's strategic events. Just again, really, really high level overview of this. What it looks like is you're basically setting up these events that have proposals underneath them. And these proposals are basically kind of proposing things that hopefully have some impact, again, on your focus areas. And you're basically proposing positions that need to be added or moved, and then also funding impacts as well. So that's what's happening out here with these strategic events. And then the asks, this to me, it looks like similar to dependencies. I'm going to show you dependencies over in Jira Align, but it's similar. It shows similar to that, where you basically have a submitting team, a date that they need some help with something that they're working on, and then they're requesting help from another team. And there's kind of this handshake opportunity using these asks, okay, from team to team. So that's what that looks like. Okay, so let's quickly jump over to talent. I already have it open here, but I could get to it by clicking this talent option. So again, talent has a similar UI as Focus. You have a For You area. You have similar similar searching, and the admin for talent, just to show behind the scenes. Talent's really meant to be used with an HIRS connector that's set up. I think Atlassian right now has one out of a box that you can use to Workday, but it's really meant to pull in data from an HIRS tool with your positions, with the people filling those positions, that those would then come into talent. You can set up specific fields in talent that could match up with the fields you have from your HIRS tool and connect those in here. There's also, if you don't have an HIRS tool, there is some opportunity to use CSV allocations and to use that to kind of get started with talent. I'm noticing they also added in some labor rates. I think this is starting to get down the road where you can start to leverage your cost centers or labor rates to help start to determine how much labor is costing in terms of your funding and spending on your focus areas. I haven't seen all this interconnected yet, but it looks like this is where Atlassian's headed. And there's some permissions as well. But back in talent, the key here with talent is positions, okay? So you have positions, you can look at by reporting line, you can also look at by focus areas out here. But first off, you need to get your positions into talent. And then the positions that you have, you're also then highlighting who is filling those positions, okay? So, and is it an external position key, like maybe from your HRR tool, okay? So you can see over here that this position one of these has been filled by me, and I can click in here. Doesn't look like that position has a name exactly, but you can click in, you can see information about me, which position I'm filling, okay? What level it is, what job family, different custom fields, okay, that can show up here. And then as I click into myself, I can also see, oh yeah, my position has been allocated to some focus areas over here, namely this demo focus area that I showed you earlier, okay? So that's where you start to see, let me go back to positions. You bring in your positions, you bring in the people that are filling those, or maybe they're not filled yet, and then what you're doing through focus and talent, that integration, is you're allocating these positions to a focus area to, again, help you to start to see how many people are working on a given focus area, okay? And start to ask for more people or less people or maybe different skill sets. So that's really what this is all about. And then I could even click on by focus area. And again, I can see the focus areas. I can see the total positions that have been allocated to them. Are they filled or not? Things like that. So that is talent in a nutshell. So I'm going to come back to our slide. So we looked at focus, we looked at talent. Just going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get into Jira Align. Okay, so a little bit about Valiantys. We are an Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner. So we're 100% dedicated to the Atlassian ecosystem. We are experts with all things Atlassian, 13-time Partner of the Year with Atlassian. We have connections with 65 of the global Fortune 500 companies working with that, and that number is always changing as well. So we work with companies of all different sizes, but you can see we do work with many, many large enterprise companies. We also have a full stack development center of excellence, some amazing engineers in-house that can do about anything that our clients need them with help. So we are Atlassian's first global partner. We again have subsidiaries all over the world. And so, yeah, wherever you are in the world, we have a group that can help you with. And we have 24/7 global coverage, again, people all over the world to help support our clients. How can we help you? These are just kind of the high level. We have consulting. That's a lot of what we do, professional services, helping with all things Atlassian, whether it be migrations, fresh greenfield implementations, custom development work, you name it. We can help with that. Any solutioning to just come with us. We will help. Just start to think about what are your pain points? How can we solution them? Okay, to get the outcomes you want. We handle licensing requests as well with Atlassian. Like I said, we have that full stack development center of excellence for integrations, development work, you name it, custom front ends, AI opportunities. We have, again, some amazing people that can help. We do managed services as well. We have offerings there if you want to reach out to us about that. And we also offer training. We have private trainings, we have public training opportunities. We do these webinars for free, and we have a great YouTube channel as well you can check out with lots of videos there. So lots of different ways we can help you. Okay, back to our demos. So now we're going to get to Jira Align. So Jira Align is another SaaS product from Atlassian. Notice that it doesn't show up underneath this in the Atlassian Cloud platform. It doesn't show up over here. It is over here in a separate part or a separate cloud product, if you will. But it's more and more being integrated in with the Atlassian Cloud. So for instance, there's a whole single sign-on where you can leverage the single sign-on that you use with your Atlassian Cloud to get into Jira Align, which is really, really great. So, but once you enter into Jira Align, you come to this landing page. And notice again, your Jira Align URL is going to be something that starts here and it's going to end with jiraalign.com. Okay. So let's start with a quick run through of the UI. Okay. So at the top, you have this homepage. Then the Teams dropdown is going to be your main way of navigating to different parts of the tool. So here you can search by teams, but what this starts to highlight is your different layers of scale. So you have your enterprise layer that sits at the very top. That if it's being leveraged, this is where your high level some high level goals and things like that can be put in strategic snapshots, kind of a roll up of all your work to the enterprise layer. And then you start to see here under the enterprise, you have your portfolio layer. And under the portfolio layer, let me expand this. You can either have a solution layer if you're that large of a company and want to and your programs are grouped into solutions, you can put solutions under here. In our demo instance, we go straight from portfolios down to programs. Okay, those team of teams. And then under the programs, that is where you have your teams, your agile teams, whether they be Scrum or Kanban. Okay, those are listed down here. And again, these are all set up in the tool. These teams may not and likely will not actually be working in Jira Align, but again, their stories that these teams are working on over in Jira are all set up. There's all this integration between Jira and Jira Align here down at the team level and even at the program level for features that all this is coming back into Jira Align and at the team level. So you're really you're putting all your portfolio, your program, your teams all in Jira Align. Okay. So those are all listed there. There is a product management part of the tool that you can decide to use or not. Under here, this is where you can manage your products, set them up. You can do personas. You can start to think about your product management. You can also align products. As you create products here, they can be set up and connected to features, added to features as well. And you can start to see some like how many features are being worked on, or even the stories that are under those features that are being worked on for a given product. Okay, so that's there. There's a custom rooms opportunity. This has kind of a special toggle that in the back end of Jira Align that you can by default it's not showing up, but you can set up these custom rooms to basically give you kind of a field that you can set up on capabilities or features that allow you to basically have a very curated kind of filtered view of your work items and in their own backlogs and their own roadmaps. So it's kind of like a filtered view of the work if you need that. Okay. So that's available. There's a star drop down. Okay, you can star all of these different places in the tool to get to them quickly. Then you have an items drop down. This really highlights all the different work items that are available within Jira Align and kind of a way to get to them very quickly. So you have all the layers of scale from themes to epics to capabilities to features. Again, there's stories, there's defects, there's tasks. These really are really starting in Jira, but they come over to Jira Align. Then we have objectives, dependencies, ideation, risks, impediments, sprints, program increments, fixed versions, success criteria. These are all available that you can choose to use or not use, uh, uh, depending on how the process is within your company. Okay, so a lot of opportunities here. I'm going to touch on some of these shortly. You have your create button here that allows you to create any one of these things depending on, again, your permissions within the tool. In the right-hand corner, you have some personas. You have a search box. You have notifications. There's something called checklists that, some clients use, some clients don't, to give you a checklist of where to go in the tool. You have some help text that Atlassian's really bolstered this part of because there's so many parts of Jira Align that you often need to kind of look up and understand better. There's a whole massive admin area within the tool for configuring it, and then you have your profile that you can set up your personal settings. Okay, so that's a really quick overview of the UI. Now I want to just kind of look at what it looks like to use Jira Align, and you're typically using it for top-down planning, and then really that bottom-up like view of your execution of the work. So we're going to go from the top down here. So I'm going to start off at the portfolio layer. Going to go into the digital services portfolio. Okay, in here, you'll land in the portfolio room. You can see which portfolio you're in here in the upper left, and you can also see which program increment that you're filtering on. This is going to default to the current program increment, and then you can adjust that. You can add one or more here. This is a really important filter within the tool because everything has a portfolio or program increment field on it to help with planning, like which time frame you're going to be working on work items. So the filtering and a lot of the planning is all around program increments. So once I choose that, then everything's going to be filtered underneath here. So first off, I come to the epics, okay? And I'm going to use this brand new epics grid. This is a really nice update from the original epics grid that allows you to see all the epics shown out here. You can see it is being filtered on a particular portfolio and a particular program increment, but you can add other filters in here by many different fields that show up on epics, okay? And then you basically, you have this grid of the epics with lots of different columns that you can see here. You can adjust those columns in the upper right, turning them on or off. You can also add, let's see, that's the plus button. Yeah, that is to create a brand new epic. Okay, that's the epic create screen. We're not going to really do that in this webinar. But you can also, the columns that you do make visible, you can drag and drop those around, move them around, customize this view. A recent addition into this is you can actually save a view. You can enter the name, you can make it private or public, and then you can get to those saved views underneath here. So that's a new feature so that you can get back to an exact view that you care about. Then let's open up one of these epics. When you click on them, this is pretty typical of Jira Align. The work item view edit screen is going to come in from the right side of the screen. Epics, as you can see, have a lot of different tabs. These tabs can be toggled on or off. So there's a lot of customization in Jira Align. The details tab is the main tab that has the title, the description. You can see required fields here marked with the red box or square. Again, the program and I should say the programs are a really key part of all the work items in Jira Align. You're always having to tell Jira Align which primary program or additional programs are going to be on epics or capabilities. And then you have owners. You can roll these up to parents. Epic, the theme or the parent of an epic, it would be the theme. Again, you have the program increment field. For epics and capabilities and themes, you can add more than one program increment. And then you have a lot of opportunities. There's WSGIF opportunities, there's estimation opportunities with points or team weeks or member weeks. And you can add custom fields as well. And there's a lot of other fields out of the box here. Notice with epics, you can have children features, there's acceptance criteria, you can even add risks and dependencies on epics, okay? I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I wanted to highlight for epics that you can create their own intake screen. There is an out-of-the-box screen here. You can also customize this benefits tab with some other fields as well. There's a value tab that allows you to help think through value engineering with some scoring that can be customized as well. There's a milestone tab that appears here at the epic level. It also appears at capability and feature levels where you can add in a milestone. This is really like an event that has a start and end date and description. It even has a state. These milestones are nice too. They show up on the roadmap view that I'll show you shortly. There's a spend tab that highlights the ability for Jira Align. It has a lot of specialized financial calculations in the background based around forecasting or the estimation that you're putting on them or even accepted spend. And there's a lot of information around these that you can click into. There's also a forecasting piece where you can, on a program increment by program increment basis, kind of forecast how much work might be needed from given programs, or you can even drill down into the team levels to help forecast and kind of think about that demand management. So that is the epic grid and the epics. There is a backlog view at the portfolio level. There's also a backlog view down at the other layers of scale. The backlog view allows you to, this is where you're going to see all your epics or whatever work item you're focused on. You're going to see them for a given program increment. And then this is where you're going to be able to drag and drop and stack rank them, okay, to prioritize them. And you can bring in different columns into this view. You can also adjust this view by going, there's another view here. You can go into this Kanban option, and there's a state view. There's also a process flow view. These basically open up a Kanban board within Jira Align. Again, this one's for epics. You can set up a specialized process flow for each work item in Jira Align. This is the one for epics. It's kind of the typical safe Kanban intake. So you have funnel, reviewing, analyzing, and you can scroll over to, the other statuses, and then you can see how many epics are in each given status at a given time to just see where all your work is in their life cycle. Okay, so that's available over here as well. There's also a new roadmaps view. So this is a newer feature of Jira Align. It's really, really nice where you can come in here, you can adjust which work item level you want to see, you want to start at, and then you can see the work items. You can expand them to see any child items that show up here. You can get all the way down to features. It doesn't go down to stories, it goes down to features, okay? But you can see your work breakdown over here. You have your timeline here, your PIs or your program increments show up here. You can bring in other columns, lots of different columns that you can bring in. So I could adjust this, and I can see the owners, I could see the process step that these are in. If an epic, let me see if any of these have them. Doesn't look like any have them, but if they did have start and end dates, those would show up here then as a timeline view. And you can also see milestones show up as well. So a couple other view settings, but we don't have time to go in and out with all of these. So, but really, really nice new feature here in the tool. At the portfolio level and the other layers of scale, you have what's called the OKR hub. This just highlights that Jira Align does support objectives and key results. Okay, so here at the portfolio level, you can see the portfolio level objectives. You can also see that there's other objective tier levels as well. But if I were to open up one of these objectives, you can see what they look like. There's lots of different fields available on these objectives as well. And then notice that you can set up key results here. And you can add in different key results. You can add in status updates showing progress being made on those key results. And then those are ultimately, as updates are being made, Jira Align's going to calculate an objective score out here. Okay, so you can tie those objectives again or align them to epics it depends on the tier that you're in with your objectives of which work item you can align them to. But I see most of my clients leveraging these OKRs and tying them out here. Okay. Then, yeah, there's a lot of other customization here. Just wanted to touch on that there is a forecasting and capacity module at the different layers of scale. And what this means here at the epic level is that you can open up all your epics for a given program increment, and you can start to scroll over here, see estimation being made, and you can start to forecast like how much time we think or how much effort or points in this case a given program is going to be needed for this epic. And then it starts to add up here, and you can start to see how much of the capacity of a given program is being forecasted on a given epic. Okay, and that capacity here shows up in this capacity module. So here again, I can see the capacity up here at the epic level. I can see the different or programs. In this case, it's all set up around points. What's the available capacity for a given program for a given program increment? And then how am I filling up with my forecasting on these epics? How is that filling up towards the total capacity? So it looks like I'm at 72% of using the capacity for all these epics for this particular program increment. So that just touches on the ability to do forecasting within the tool if you want to. And then lastly, I just want to go down into the program level as well here. Let me go to the mobile program just to highlight a few things at this level. Again, down at the program level, this is where the features are being created and managed. Let me open up this features beta view. This is similar to that Epic view I showed you earlier. This is a newer view that allows you to get into your features and to see different views and save them. When I open up one of these features, they look, all these work items look somewhat similar. They have different tabs. But down at the feature level, this is where you're going to be able to tie a feature to a specific primary program. The feature level is where you start to have integration with Jira. So you're basically setting up which particular Jira space or project that this feature should be mapped over to and synced over to. And then you can see, yeah, ownership, product is available down at the feature level, date fields. Okay, WizGIF is available down here. You also have milestones available in features, spend, there's a spend tab, a forecast tab too down at the feature level. Okay, those are all available here. Once those features are created, once they're assigned to different program increments, again, you can use the backlog view to see, again, all of the features for the mobile program for a given program increment. I can see all that, and I can stack rank them here. I could also see how they're doing if they had a process flow set up, you could look at a Kanban view of programs. So that's available out here. There's also a roadmaps view, just like at the portfolio level, that you could start off and look at all your features. And then down here, this is where you start to get into your PI planning, down with your programs. And there's a program board visualization that's really popular in Jira Align that allows you to see all the teams in a program with all of your sprints for a given release or program increment. And this has a lot of different things going on here, a lot of different icons. The rectangles are all the features being worked on. And you can basically look at the features being planned, and you can come out here. Depending on your roles, the RTEs, the product managers can come out here, and they can determine this particular feature is going to be worked on by one or more teams. Okay, so this basically highlights that the Cowboys team has been assigned to over 12 features out here. Okay, and that Cowboys team can start to decide, you know what? It's not quite opening up as I would have expected it, but they can then start to estimate when they think they're going to get done with a feature. which sprint they're going to be done with. Okay, so this allows for that planning, that committing to being done with features. Notice here it also has some chevrons. These are dependencies. I'll touch on those in a minute. And then you can also put in program and team level objectives. And there's lots of color coding here. Once the release or program increment starts up, you can start to see if there's any planning issues or anything that's off with timing. The program level also allows you then in your PI planning to set up dependencies. If there are any, there usually are, where one team's dependent on another. So let me open up one of these. Let me find one here. So dependencies, again, are basically this work item that allows that handshaking, that collaboration between teams. So out here you can see it has its own workflow. And at a really high level, again, the dependency is set up. In this case, it's a dependency of a feature. So one team, in this case, the Cowboys, is dependent on the Baltimore team to be able to get their work done on a specific feature. And then that team has clearly done some collaboration. One team is going to say, we need it by such and such sprint. The other team can say, yeah, we'll do it by such and such sprint. And then ultimately, there's work that can be assigned then. So in this case, a story was created to be worked on to help clear that dependency, ultimately complete it. So this is, again, it's meant to highlight all the different kind of interconnections between your teams and to hopefully just clear any blockers that are showing up with your planning. There's also two final things here. There's also the support for risks within Jira Align. Let me open up some risks here for PI5. But again, if you have any risks that are showing up in your PI planning, you can create those here and you can adjust those. There's Roam analysis for risks out here as well. So you can make sure you get those resolved or mitigated. So there's opportunity there. And then finally, just wrapping all this up, there is the ability in Jira Align, there's lots and lots of different reports at each layer of scale, but those show up out here. And you can also even create custom reports where you can set up links out to, in this case, I think what we've set up are some quick links that basically open up some Atlassian Analytics reporting. So you can see that you can point out to Atlassian Analytics, Power BI, your BI tools of choice. You can embed links in here from reports from other tools and these reports again are leveraging that Enterprise Insights data lake to do custom reports, which again, a lot of clients, they might leverage some out-of-the-box reports, but they often like to have their own custom reporting as well. So that is a whirlwind view of Jira Align. Hopefully you got to see a sense of how it's using for top-down planning, and then also the bottom-up execution from stories all the way up to features, capabilities, epics, so on and so forth. And that's represented nicely in the program room where I can scroll down and I can start to see the progress being made on the features. Okay, and I can even open up and see the stories that are set up in these features as well. So, all right, well, we are closing in on the end now. So just wanted to highlight if there's any questions. And while people are asking questions here, just wanted to note that there are YouTube channels. We have webinars and other events and other training. I'm sure that Kristen has shared all these links with you as well. If you want to reach me too, you can scan this QR code or reach out to me at jason.kidner@valiantys.com. And it looks like, yeah, people are quiet today. We don't have any questions. And it looks like too, we are pretty much at time. So thank you again for joining us. I know that was a lot of ground we covered, but hopefully you better understand the Atlassian Strategy Collection, each of the apps in there, what they're used for, and hopefully we'll hear from you and you'll entertain them. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.